Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you are new here, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's take a look at what's going on with the price of Bitcoin this morning. We are below that $26,000 level, but only just at 25,917. We are up 0.6% within the last 24 hours, and Ethereum is up slightly as well to 0.4%. Again, I don't believe we've broken any major level of support or resistance on the chart today, but we will be analysing the price of Bitcoin at the end of today's stream and looking at some major levels of support and resistance and what we should be looking out for at this point in time. Let's take a look at what's going on with the cryptocurrency news this morning. Now, before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button. First story we are talking about the CPI data in the US. So that is the inflation data announcement, which is happening later today. As I've said, I am on holiday, so I won't be able to stream the news with you as it comes out, but I will be talking to you today about what I'm expecting to happen here. So what we see here is every single month, we see the inflation data announcement from the US for the previous month, year on year. So we're looking at what the news today will tell us what inflation has been from August 2022 to August 2023. Now, why this is so important is because the inflation data will give us an indication of what the interest rates will be in the next announcement there. Now, why are interest rates important for the markets? High interest rates are something the markets do not like at all. We've seen massive interest rate hikes within the last year because the US are trying to get their inflation down to 2%. Now, their inflation reached a high of 9.1%, which is absolutely crazy. And that 2% target is seeming more and more difficult to obtain. In fact, we have seen discussions of them increasing that inflation target to 3%. Now, that is a massive shift. That's a 50% increase when you take a look at it like that, from 2% to 3%. However, at the moment, their goal is a 2% target. And will they be able to obtain that? Well, we're not sure. We are starting to see some inflation rate increases. So if we take a look at this, this is the inflation data for the last year. You can see we did get inflation all the way down to 3% so this is for June here. And then we did unfortunately see a rise July 2022 to July 2023 to 3.2%. Now we are seeing it's highly expected that we are going to see another rise here today to 3.6%. And what could this mean for inflation? Well, we've actually had we've had two inflation announcements since the last interest rate change. So this is creating a huge amount of speculation here. What are they going to do? We've seen two increases. We've seen an increase from 3% to 3.6%. Now, this is going to push them more and more towards more interest rate hikes. What we see is inflation is the growth of the economy, but we want to shrink that. We want to get that down. How do we get that down? Well, we need people to be spending less money, and to get people to spend less money, we need to increase interest rates. If people are paying higher interest on all of their loans, on their mortgages, then people have less money to spend. So they're going to be spending less money, and therefore inflation will decline because the economy will decline. But the problem with that for the cryptocurrency markets and for the traditional markets is that when there's higher interest rates, the markets don't like this. If people have less money to spend, they're not putting on risk on assets like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency or even the stock market in general. So these are the problems that we are seeing here in the markets. We've been seeing these for the last year. We've been discussing these heavily on these live streams, but we are now seeing here that the probability for the Fed to leave rates unchanged sits at 93% at the time of writing. This could change following the CPI data, so we'll have to stay tuned on this. As I said, an increase in inflation does push them more and more towards possible interest rate hikes in the future, whether it's this time or next time. Within the next year, they are getting pushed more and more and more to be increasing those interest rates, which is negative for the markets. So what can we expect for the price of Bitcoin today, depending on this CPI data? I believe every single time this comes, we are going to see a huge amount of volatility. Every single month, we get inflation data, and every single month, Bitcoin goes wacky for about half an hour, if not 15 minutes. We see moves to the upside and to the downside, all very, very quickly, all very, very choppy. This is a period of time that I typically do not leverage trade in because the markets have a mind of their own at this point in time. Even if it's good, it can shoot to the downside for a split second. And even if it's bad, it can shoot to the upside for a split second. It's just incredibly volatile. at this point in time. So be very, very careful if you are choosing to leverage trade this announcement today, and try and use as little leverage as possible. What we can see here is it's already forecast to be 3.6. So I believe that is probably priced into the markets right now. If we see a change of 3.6, if we see inflation at 3.6, I imagine we'd see a huge amount of volatility, and then we'd pretty much level out back where we've started. In fact, that's a pretty reasonable expectation for all scenarios here. What we've been seeing over and over again for the inflation data is we have a huge amount of volume, and then we just end up being back at the price we were at before. If we see lower inflation, then that is obviously very positive for the price, not priced in, and therefore we could see some more volatility to the upside. And if it's higher than expected, we could see some more volatility to the lower side. But overall, as I've been saying, we probably end up back to where we are right now by the end of all of that volatility. So just prepare for that. Be as careful as possible. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. This is just what's typically happened within the last couple of months. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Let's see what's going on in the chat today. Jason, thank you very much. And we've got Andy say, good morning, good morning. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. We've got some really bullish news this morning. Bitcoin, there has been another spot Bitcoin ETF application. Now, this is from a $1.5 trillion asset manager, Franklin Templeton. So big news here for Bitcoin. Positive price action here. We haven't seen the impact that BlackRock had on the price of Bitcoin, and that is just because BlackRock was the first massive company to do this, that sparked all of that excitement. We can't see that every single time a big asset manager gets involved, but this is very, very positive news here. We obviously saw a win for Grayscale against the SEC with their lawsuit a couple of weeks ago. So this has given a lot of companies more interest in the space, and the possibility of a spot Bitcoin ETF has increased massively. So they now want to get involved as well, and they don't want to be left behind. So let's see what's going on here. In August, the SEC delayed its decision on several spot Bitcoin ETFs using one of its 3 delays at its disposal. The SEC now has until mid-October before the next application deadline, including the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock. So what happens here is we have a certain amount of dates where they need to give decisions by. They can either delay their decision as to whether they should accept or decline the spot Bitcoin ETF applications, and then we get the final deadline, which they cannot delay past any further, and that is looking to be in around March, April 2024, so next year, for a lot of these massive applications here. So we are waiting for that. It's looking pretty exciting, and I'm very excited to see what this could bring for the cryptocurrency space. If you take a look at what happened to gold following an ETF launching for the price of gold, that had a massive impact on the price of gold and made the price increase massively. So I'm feeling positive about what could happen here. Let's take a look at what else is going on. We do also have, let's see if we've got this in the news today, another Ethereum ETF has been filed with the SEC from a smaller company here. Now let's take a look. Let's see if I can find that for us quickly. So we have, where have we got? We've got Binance US CEO resigns, actually. That's pretty big news there. Just in, half the press. What can we see here is there is an Ethereum, I don't know where it's gone. Somebody has applied for a spot Ethereum ETF, which is big news. It hasn't impacted the price of Ethereum. Let's move on to the next story here. So Binance US calls SEC requests unreasonable and unduly burdensome. So what we've seen here is the SEC filed a lawsuit against Binance earlier this year. They also filed a lawsuit against Coinbase, but the accusations they were making against Binance US was much, much worse. Now, they've been requesting a huge amount of information from Binance US since then, trying to really understand what's been going on, what the inner workings is like. We have had discussions over this. So the US Coinbase has been accused of offering unregistered securities and all of the problems around that sense. It ends up being a huge amount of accusations, but that's the sole issue there, whether an asset is a security or not. Binance have been accused of the same, but with a huge amount more. So Binance has been accused of mixing funds between Binance.us and their affiliates, so Binance.com and all their companies within the Binance realm. So we are seeing here that the SEC have been asking them for a lot, and Binance US have filed its response to the US SEC motion to compel and reply, characterizing most requests as unreasonable and unduly burdensome. So we'll see how this plays out. This is still on the same route though. No result from this just yet. We'll see how this plays out. Let's move on to the next story here. As I said, news has just come in that the Binance US CEO has just resigned there, so that could cause a massive shift for the company. But let's see what else is going on here. So Banana token rugs and team alleges bug in contract. So on Monday, another token appeared to have rugged in its community, with the team alleging a bug in the contract was to blame. So let's take a look at this. The project described as the ETH bot that will make your life easier, and it was for degens by degens. Banana began trading at approximately 60 cents, quickly 10x in value within a 15-minute candle, and the token peaked at $8.80 just 45 minutes post launch. Now you can see here the price has been very volatile on this asset, to say the least. So this differs from a typical meme coin launch because projects often take several days or weeks to emerge as trending meme coins. Even then, a small percentage only go on to amass such a significant market caps. Hitting this level within 45 minutes of launching is highly unusual. They've said then, we have a bug in our contracts we cannot fix. We will update you as soon as possible. And the Banana Gun team followed this up by stating, don't buy or sell after the sales of the deployer. So of course, this instilled a panic into holders and people began offloading their bags onto the market. This caused a domino effect on the price, plummeting over 99% within minutes of the announcement. So I'd like to know what the problem was within that smart contract. I'm going to take a look at that and see what this issue was, whether it was something totally degen or whether there was more to that. Let's take a look at the next article here. Before I forget, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. Hopefully none of you guys have been involved in that banana token. Hopefully you haven't lost funds in that. Always be incredibly careful. Do you know what a good tool actually is? Dex Tools. If you're going on to Dex Tools, you can take a look down the side, and they have they just make it really easy to understand what's going on in a smart contract for those that don't read smart contracts. So they've got lots of tick boxes and crosses, and you can see what features the contract possesses and which ones it is lacking in. Let's see what else is going on here. So Binance have donated $3 million to Morocco for their earthquake victims. So unfortunately, we did see a massive earthquake on the 8th of September in Morocco. I believe it was South Marrakesh. And what we are seeing here is the tragic loss of over 2,800 lives, and that is still counting here. So we are seeing Binance have donated some funds there, which is very kind of them. It's a very sad situation there. Let's see what else is going on here. So Vitalik's account on Twitter got hacked earlier this week. We were discussing it here on the channel. What we have seen is a huge amount of funds have been lost by those that believed Vitalik was tweeting some tweets that he was not. Basically, the hackers managed to steal funds from his followers. But now we're seeing he actually got his account hacked from a SIM swap of his T-Mobile account. So someone probably social engineered the phone company to get complete control of his phone number. And when you can do that, you can two-factor authenticate and all the rest of it. So what we're saying here is the Ethereum co-founder wrote on the decentralized social media platform Warpcast that his Twitter account was compromised through a SIM swap. Finally got back my T-Mobile account. Yes, it was a SIM swap, meaning that someone socially engineered T-Mobile itself to take over my phone number. Vitalik added that he did not remember adding his phone to his ex account. He, however, speculated he might have done so when subscribing to Twitter below. So a phone number is sufficient to password reset a Twitter account, even if not used as two-factor authentication. Can completely remove my phone from Twitter. I had seen the phone numbers are insecure. Don't authenticate with them. Advised it before, but did not realize this. So unfortunately, Vitalik's Twitter attackers managed to steal $700,000 in digital assets from his following there. So always, as I said, be incredibly careful with things like this. Let's see what else is going on here. Lightspark working on global Bitcoin payments. So former PayPal president David Mark has revealed that Lightspark is working to make Bitcoin a global payment network. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen this video, but he was sounding very, very positive about the price of Bitcoin. So Lightspark powers payments on Bitcoin's layer 2 scaling solution, the Lightning Network. And companies can apply for a Lightspark account to access low-cost, instant global transactions via the Lightning Network. Lightspark is the easiest, most reliable, enterprise-grade gateway to Lightning, enabling money to move just like bits and bytes do on the internet. So we're seeing him be very positive about here. The former president, of PayPal has said he is working to make a Bitcoin a global payment network. So really positive there. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news. We have two more stories today, and then we'll be analysing the price of Bitcoin. Before I forget, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. If you have not already, make sure to go over check out Crypto Saving Expert Plus. We have launched CSE Plus and CSE Premium memberships last week, and they are all very exciting. We've got lots to come there. And if you sign up to either of those, you can get access to our community Discord, where we're all chatting very, very frequently. And we have a Discord town hall later this week. Let's pull this up and see if we can find that. I'm sure it is on the Twitter profile somewhere. If we go to Crypto Saving Expert, let's see how many we can find here now. I'm sure there is an account. Here we go. So join us on Discord Town Hall with Crypto Saving Expert and that Martini guy on the 15th of September. So this Friday at 10 a.m. Also, we have some discount codes down below here. So if you sign up to Community Plus, make sure to use Gone Soon Com. And if you are signing up to Premium, make sure to use Gone Soon Prem. Now, there were only a certain amount of uses. These 10 spots up for grabs with these codes. So eventually, when 10 people have used them, they won't be usable anymore. So if you want to sign up, make sure to take advantage of those codes before it is too late. And make sure to join us in that Discord town hall as well if you are a member. Let's see what else is going on here in the crypto news. Former Celsius CEO Alex Mashinsky seeks dismissal of FTC case. So lawyers representing the former Celsius CEO are seeking the dismissal of the case made against their client by the FTC, according to a recent court filing. So we'll see how this plays out. Another story here, Celsius is one of the companies that didn't make it through the turbulent time of 2022, and we are still seeing the repercussions of that, especially in the sense of the law and what's going on there. And it's going to take a couple of years for this to all be worked out. It was an absolute shambles 2022, but hopefully we can improve on that and get a much better space by the time the next bull market arrives. So let's see what's going on here. 227 days to go until the Bitcoin halving, the day we are all waiting for. Bitcoin halving has historically triggered a bull market, so a lot of people are very excited about what this means. And we are also seeing the spot Bitcoin ETF approval dates being around that Bitcoin halving date. So we're seeing a lot of excitement towards the start of next year. Hopefully it's all to the upside and all as positive as we're all hoping for. Let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin now. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What we have seen in the last couple of days is a dip to the downside, as we said in yesterday's stream. We have a dip here from around $24,900 to $24,750, acting like a level of support there. We did bounce this back in June 2023. We've now bounced it again on the 12th of September 2023. So I'm looking at this zone. We are looking like we are approaching that more and more. Now, if we take a look at the daily chart so far, we have, I'm clutching at straws here, but we have so far managed to hold that level of support. So you can see here, we have a low here, we have a higher low, we have a higher low. We did have a higher low. We are getting ever so slightly closer to breaking that previous low there. We also have a higher high. So right now we are still in a daily trend, a daily uptrend on the day. We are still in an uptrend on the daily chart, but that line is becoming very, very thin. If we break through that level of support, that will be no more, and we could be looking at some more lows there. But what we have seen is a nice strong bounce off that support, and that's really important. I managed to actually buy into Bitcoin at $25,100 on that dip. Whether we will go back down to those price levels, who knows? And that is something that I try and avoid being concerned about when I like to buy Bitcoin when it dips, when I have the opportunity to. If we go lower, then we go lower, and I'll try and buy the dip again. If we go higher, then brilliant, I'll be in nice profit. But obviously, nothing is financial advice, but you need to look at your own portfolio and your own situation and really see what's going on here. We're currently at $25,800. I managed to buy it at $25,100. If the price moves to $20,000 and then we see another bull market, I'm not really going to be bothered if I got in at 25,000 or 20,000. I'll just be glad I got in sub 30k. And the same for if we go even further down. But I would say every single bear market, we don't go as low as expected, and every single bull market, we don't go as high as expected. So I'm just happy to get in at these points in time. We're seeing a lot of speculation as to why the price is dipping at this point in time. We've seen spot Bitcoin ETFs applications from massive players. So with that in mind, why could the price be pushed even lower? Are they trying to buy in at lower prices? This is the speculation right now, but that is what is going on with the cryptocurrency news. In terms of big players, we've seen VET gain 8.56% within the last 24 hours. We've seen Zilliqa up 7.15%. So big moves there. And on the lower side, we've seen Engine Coin down almost 8%, Nexo down 5.5%, And Trust Wallet's token down 4% as well. So big volatility in the altcoins in the last 24 hours, actually. And these figures aren't usually that high. So we'll keep an eye on that. But that is all we have for today's stream. So thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I hope you have enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. Share the stream with your friends and help us along the way to grow this channel to be the